Hey guys, it's Casey, and something a little bit different today. This has been sitting on my computer actually for a little while now, but I was a little hesitant to release it because it's not really like anything else that I've done on this channel so far. But a while back when I changed my channel name to KCD Videos, it was sort of with the intent to kind of branch out and try different and new things. And this is sort of the start of that. I don't know if this is going to become necessarily a series, but it's something different. If it's something that you guys do like and want to see more of or hear more of, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. So essentially what we're doing today is going to be reading a handful of Am I the Asshole stories off of Reddit and kind of giving our thoughts and opinions on it. I'm going to be with my wife today. Her name is Fallon, and she's going to kind of take over the reading part, and I'm just going to kind of be giving my opinions towards the end. But yeah, be sure to let us know if this is something that anyone is interested in. I'm excited to see how it goes. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoy this little bit of variety on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Starting off strong with Am I the Asshole for telling my sister she's an idiot if she thought her actions at her wedding wouldn't have consequences. Quick backstory, my bio dad died when I was young, and my mom remarried when my sister was 8 and I was 10. We are now in our late 20s. Stepdad focused a lot of his time on providing for us, so I never got close to him, but I am grateful for him. I'm engaged, and my sister is going to marry in about a month. My wedding will be in a year. Both of us are close to our mom, though. My sister, who I will call Noelle, fucked up in my opinion. At first, I was on her side, but now I feel bad for stepdad. Noelle isn't going to have him walk her down the aisle and give her away. I understand this is her decision, and when that came out, I hope my mom and stepdad understand that that was her choice. The turning point happened last week when she told us that he will not be sitting at the family table. When asked why, she made it clear that he wasn't family to her. Again, right, but damn, he is the reason we had such a good childhood and are debt-free. He paid for our college and worked a ton. I knew this would result in them not going to the wedding, and they informed my sister. She called me upset and was ranting about how it was her wedding, that she was being abandoned. I had enough and told her that she's an idiot if she thinks that her actions wouldn't have consequences. She called me a jerk and hung up. I'm unsure if I was a jerk, and I feel guilty since I am now closer to my parents since I promised he can walk me down at my wedding. Am I the asshole?
Okay, so you're gonna have to clarify that a little bit more. So essentially, the girl getting married doesn't see the stepfather as family pretty much at all, correct?
Exactly. She just doesn't really want him to have a spotlight at her wedding.
Okay. Even though like he was the one that like paid for their like clothes and school and helped raise them. At what age did he come into the picture?
He came into their lives, so sister who's getting married that doesn't want him to walk her down the aisle or sit at the family table was 8 when he came into their life.
Okay.
And that's kind of a big reason why I chose this. I have some personal connections with this story.
Right.
I lost my dad at a young age, and my mother did remarry, and I have some very similar feelings. I mean, if I'm being honest, I didn't have him walk me down at my wedding either. And that was my choice. I had my husband walk me down because that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to have to tell him that. I just kind of used that as an excuse, and that was easy for me. But for her, she's just being honest, and I don't really anything wrong with it.
I'm not necessarily seeing anything wrong with it either.
He was a parent. Good job at doing the minimum of what you should have done. You chose to be with a woman who had children. That does not mean that those children have to love you or accept you. Good job at being the parent, though.
Yeah.
You know?
But what consequences are they talking about? Because the headline that says, like, her actions wouldn't have consequences, what consequences are there? Or did she not even emphasize or, depict that?
So at the end of it, it talks about how, it says, I knew this would result in them not going to the wedding, and they informed my sister. Meaning, neither mom nor stepdad will be going to the wedding.
I mean, look, it's her wedding. If she's okay with that, I mean, does she, I guess we don't know. Does she want the mom to be there? Probably, right?
Absolutely. Judging from how, after she called the sister, she was talking about how she felt abandoned.
Yeah.
You know, she wants her mom there, and I can completely understand that. The thing is, stepdad and mom are both butthurt about it, and
I mean, it's definitely a bit of a messy situation because
It
I mean,
is.
how can you expect, that one person like your mom to show up, but not her significant other?
exactly.
But
And that's
the
not
thing,
what she was asking, though.
right? The thing is, he just wanted to sit at the family table, right? And she didn't even want that. Like she wouldn't even throw him that bone.
Yeah.
Like I understand not like wanting him to walk you down the aisle, but why not? I mean, technically, he married into the family. He is technically family. He should at least have a spot at the family table.
That's very true, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. For this one, for me, it just feels like everybody's a little bit of the asshole, because at the end of the day, for the mother of the girls getting married, that is your daughter. You grew her, you birthed her, and you don't want to be there because of the man that you chose. He could have easily just accepted what the daughter wanted. Now, granted, was that a little too far with the table and not giving him a seat at the table?
That feels almost a little spiteful.
It does.
So I wonder if there's
does.
not more to the story that we don't know. Maybe I don't want to implicate anything, but maybe the stepfather isn't that nice of a guy. Maybe he was just a monetary, means of providing monetarily a stable home. But maybe he wasn't that nice of a person. She said that they never had a close relationship, right?
Exactly. They never got to know him because he was working so much. That's what OP emphasized, is he was always working.
Always working. I mean, that's tough. I mean, who is the asshole in this situation? Because that one is... I feel like everyone, like you said, is a little bit of an asshole. I think the mom is a little bit of an asshole for not still attending her daughter's wedding. The father or the stepfather is definitely a bit of an asshole.
Because he's a little entitled. Just because you provided for those children, again, does not mean that you are entitled to anything.
You might have helped pay for their lives, but were you actually there in their lives?
And not only that, again, too, the children didn't get to choose that. The children didn't choose their stepfather. The children didn't choose for their father to pass.
Right.
And personally, I know I hold a lot of those feelings.
Yeah.
And with the sister not listening to her when she called her to pour her heart out and calling her a jerk, that I would say that is an asshole move for sure.
Yeah.
I don't entirely think you are a whole asshole, because I can see that you care about your stepfather and his feelings, but at the end of the day, your sister's feelings on her own wedding matter just as much. That is her special day. And that is a big milestone that she doesn't have her father there for.
Yeah.
Thinking on that, how do you really think that this poor girl feels?
Yeah. Yeah. So in my opinion, not to like try to round up or anything, but I would say definitely the mom is an asshole for not coming to the wedding. And I would say the sister is a bit of an ass. Not the bride so much. I mean, is it a little petty that she doesn't want to give him a seat at the family table? Yeah, but ultimately it's her day. It's her wedding. She gets to decide who is there and who isn't. And, I guess like the title says, her actions does have consequences, but I mean, ultimately it's her day. It's just unfortunate that her mom can't,
Look past it.
look past it just for one day.
I couldn't agree more. Am I the asshole for ruining Christmas and being upset the only gifts I got from my family were joke gifts?
Oh, this one's starting off strong.
Oh, yeah. Some background. My family likes to play pranks with Christmas and birthday gifts. It's nothing new. I, female 21, as well as my 5 siblings, from 29 to 37 years old, have all been pranked on our birthdays and Christmas, and usually it's 1 or 2 gifts. This Christmas, though, I was the only person to get all joke gifts. For example, I unwrapped a MacBook from my brother, but when I opened it, it was some chocolate, which I don't eat, so I gave it away. And the MacBook was actually given to my sister inside of a bag that she wanted. Another gift was what I thought was a book I put on my Christmas list was actually just a book cover put on a dictionary. When I asked my mom about the book, she told me she gave it to my sister-in-law. And it just gets worse. This went on with each present my sibling or parents had given me. AirPods was just a charging block. Adapter, gift cards that were used and had a zero balance, and a card with Monopoly money. And so on, totaling to about 12 joke gifts. I went out of my way to get everyone something they wanted, or that they'd like. I didn't get anything. At this point, I was bummed, so I went to the living room to watch TV with my boyfriend. At dinner, they were talking about how much they loved their gifts, and when my dad asked why I hadn't said anything about mine, I said there wasn't much to say. Everyone but my boyfriend laughed, and my mom said it was a joke. No big deal, as everyone else got some joke gifts. I told her every gift that I got was a joke gift, and that the ones that they got also followed by real ones. My dad told me I needed to relax as I'm making a big deal out of it, and I'd have next Christmas to get the stuff on my list. Not wanting to go back and forth, I told my boyfriend I wanted to leave, and we can spend the rest of Christmas break with his family, and then go home. My family got mad and told me not to go and just to stay because it wasn't that serious. I left and put my phone on Do Not Disturb during the drive, and by the time that we got to my boyfriend's parents' home, I had several missed calls and texts from them calling me names like ungrateful, sensitive, and childish. They said I ruined Christmas and made my parents upset because I left. The next day, I exchanged and opened gifts with my boyfriend and his family, and one of the gifts that I had gotten was the book I wanted, the book that my mom pretended to gift to me. I posted it on my Instagram story, and not even 0 minutes after posting it, my sister sent a screenshot of my story to the family group chat, and they basically got mad at me for leaving and telling me that I ruined Christmas over some presents. They told me I owe everyone, especially my parents, an apology because my mom spent New Year's sad because of my actions. Now I just want an outside party to tell me if I am the asshole here. Am I wrong for being upset about the gifts and for leaving? After reading their messages and sitting on this for a few days, I'm now feeling like maybe I was upset over nothing and need to apologize to them. There's a edit here. Gonna edit as there may have been some misunderstanding. My Christmas list didn't include expensive gifts, nor was I upset that I did not receive an expensive gift. I was merely upset because of being pranked with everything I got and being the only person who didn't get a real present. That is all. Another thing I'll address is I didn't do anything to my family which would warrant them doing this. The last big argument I had was with my sister, which was over a year and a half ago.
So is that the whole thing?
That's the whole thing.
Can I go first?
Absolutely. Be my guest.
So, look, I'm all for, like, gag gifts. I think there's definitely, something to be said about a good gag gift. They're funny as shit, in my opinion. However, there is, okay, before I continue on with that thought, I was also thinking maybe it was just unlucky. Like, maybe there was just zero communication between people, and everyone's like, oh, I'm going to get the gag gift for the person that I know gets annoyed at gag gifts, and they thought it'd be funny, so maybe they all accidentally had that same mentality, and so that's why she only ended up with gag gifts. But I think where the line is crossed
her gifts were given to other people.
Is they were doing gag gifts based on things that she actually wanted, and that crosses the line from a funny joke to just kind of feeling almost cruel, in my opinion. Like, oh, here's the MacBook that you really wanted. JK, it's chocolate. And then
that you don't even eat.
Yeah, and then her sister or brother or whatever got the actual MacBook that she wanted.
Yeah, inside of like a bag. So I'm assuming probably an expensive purse that she wanted as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's where the line is crossed. Is like you don't like that's the equivalent of like thinking that your significant other really wants to be proposed to, and you get down on one knee and she looks at you and she starts tearing up, and you open the ring and it's a fucking like ring pop inside. You know what I mean? Like that's not funny at that point.
No.
That's actually just playing like that's kind of cruel because that there's expectations. That's something that that person really wants. That's not funny anymore. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to get a gag gift, but you don't get a gag gift based on something that someone actually wants.
Well, and not only that, kind of like what I said earlier too, though, is the gifts that she wanted were given to other people. Where does that make any sense? Especially the book. The MacBook is one thing, but like the physical book that she wanted to read. How that putting the cover on a dictionary and then giving it to your sister-in-law?
Yeah.
What?
Like, it sounds so far-fetched that it's hard for me to actually even believe it happened. Like, it feels stereotypically evil, almost, right? Like...
Like, are there actually people out there like this?
Maybe.
I hate it.
I guess it has to be, right? So, and this one I feel like is pretty cut and dry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is she the asshole?
No, the family, 1,000,000%. And the thing is, she iterated in there that they know that she does not appreciate this type of stuff. That is a hard boundary line. It's like, hey guys, to put myself into her shoes. If it were me with that, I would just tell everybody, I don't want a single thing from you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it isn't about the gifts.
No, and that's something I want to comment too. Is the holiday shouldn't be about what you get, but it kind of has turned into that over the years.
It has,
and it just feels, I don't know. You shouldn't get,
like you said, cruel.
Yeah, you shouldn't get upset based on what you're getting, because you should be thankful you're getting anything at all. But at the same time, if those same rules aren't applied to everyone, then you feel singled out.
Exactly.
You feel like you're the problem when that's not the case.
No. And the fact that the family can't see that they had a part in the negativity and they're just all laughing and having a grand old time. It almost feels like bullying, too. Like, they're bullying her out of the picture. And they claim that they want her there, but what are their actions are saying that we don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I've never had anything that extreme, but I can kind of relate, because I kind of feel like I'm usually the butt of a lot of jokes in my family.
They are using her as a scapegoat to get their jollies off, essentially. Like,
yeah.
It's
She's an easy
frustrating.
punching bag.
Exactly, yeah.
And you know what? That's not cool. That's toxic as fuck.
I agree, 100%.
So she's not the asshole. In my opinion, if this story is true, she is the last thing from the asshole in this story.
Yeah, at least she has her in-laws
Yeah, exactly.
that seem to care.
Yeah, at least it has a happy ending, right? She got what she wanted ultimately, or at least some of what she wanted.
Yeah, I wish nothing but the best for her, and I hope that everything gets resolved. So, we got a fresh asshole here.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. We got, am I the asshole for not letting my daughter use my son's PS5?
Oh, boy. All right,
this is a good one for you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's short and sweet to the point, it looks like. So, for Christmas, I bought a PS5 for my son, 17, since he'd been asking for one for months. My daughter, 14, is always jealous of her brother. She's very greedy and always wants what her brother has. In this case, she wants the PS5. She insists we let her use it, but I told her no. It's your brother's and he doesn't want to share, so he shouldn't have to. She started nagging, saying it's unfair and we should buy a PS5 for her then, but we can't afford 2 PS5s. So now she won't talk to anyone and thinks we are assholes. The end.
All right, let me clarify the ages of the two of them. How old is the sister and how old is the brother?
So brother is 17, daughter is 14.
Okay.
3 years off.
Gotcha. Look, I'll just be honest. I'm a gamer. I've played games my entire life. I remember as a kid sharing every game console I ever had with my brothers. Mm-hmm. But game consoles were different back then.
Yes, they weren't as personalized as today.
Essentially, back then, I could have my own save on, like Tony Hawk's Underground, and I could beat the game and do my own thing on that game. And if my brother wanted to play, he would know, just don't pick that save file. Mm-hmm. That is a case with some modern games, but typically, like, let's say you're playing Fortnite. You can have multiple accounts, I think, but typically it's tethered to your PlayStation or your console, right? Yeah. So it's not as easy, to share consoles anymore. They've been specifically designed over the years to make sure people have to get their own. And I'm sorry, in my opinion, he's older. He gets to have maybe newer, slightly more expensive tech because, he's the oldest sibling, and growing up, that's how my household was, at least. My brother always, my older brother got an iPod. Meanwhile, I got like a nano stick that could hold like 15 songs before I had to start deleting it.
Can I input something though?
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like with this though, realistically, are they going to be playing the same games to where it would overlap like that?
I mean,
realistically,
possibly. I guess we don't know what games they want to play, but like the biggest games out there, Minecraft and Fortnite and stuff, those are usually tied mostly to your online gamer tag.
Yeah, but
or your PlayStation name.
But can't you have multiple PlayStation accounts and just log in and out?
You can.
I know that would be a pain in the butt, but at the end of the day, if that would solve a lot of heartache, I feel like that would be a better solution than just giving it to the one sibling. Like for me growing up with my siblings, it was a little different because we're definitely a blended family. So say my sisters from their mother had gotten like a Nintendo DS. And obviously that is not any right within me to ask to use those because those are theirs. But with my mother and stepfather, their parent, when they would get consoles, it would be for the family because that's not fair.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too, is growing up, whenever we got a new game console, it was never for like, oh, my brother got the Xbox for his birthday. It was never that. It was, oh, we got an Xbox for the family.
Exactly,
for whatever holiday it was. It was for everyone.
Big
the
present.
console was located in the living room. Now when we got older, we would get like consoles for ourselves, but typically we bought them ourselves. I remember mowing 50 lawns just to be able to afford to get myself a PS2. You know what I mean? So it depends. Was her brother gifted that for his birthday or for a holiday, or was that console bought for the family? If it wasn't bought for the family and it was just bought for him, then that's his console.
Yeah.
And really, if the daughter or the sister wants one as well, it's only fair to provide the same for her as well. But the thing is, there is that age disparity where I feel like, the older siblings usually get the newer, nicer things first. And that's just kind of, whether it's right, wrong, that's to be debated. You can have a whole ass conversation about that.
That's what I was going to say. In my opinion, I don't find that right at all. If there is something that big that you can't afford to have multiple of, then you need to do a little bit more thinking as the parent.
And
how
buy it
is
for
this
the household.
Exactly. How is this going to affect the household dynamic? Granted, yes, it's a game. It's a gaming console. At the end of the day, it shouldn't be what cracks a freaking family, but obviously, for right or wrong, the daughter is obviously up in a tizzy. And I also wanted to touch on that too. The way she talks about her daughter, it's like it sounds like she puts her son up on a pedestal. I obviously don't know these people from whatever, but like the way she talks about her daughter, it makes me almost feel like she has this weird anger towards her daughter and she adores the son.
Yeah.
Because why? It just doesn't make any sense to me why you would get something that big for one and not even try to provide for the other.
Yeah. Again, though, like when I was growing up, back to the iPod situation, I wanted an iPod. I would have been 12 and my older brother would have been like 15. And he got an iPod. I wanted an iPod. I remember distinctly asking for an iPod. And my parents, same situation. They couldn't afford another iPod. It was me and my younger brother. We both wanted iPods, and they couldn't afford 2 more iPods.
Absolutely.
So they went with like the little cheesy off-brand like MP3 player that you had the USB drive on the side of it. You just plug it into the computer to transfer audio to and stuff. And it was like, significantly cheaper. I think those went for like $30 to $60 back in the day.
Instead of the $150 to $200, depending on everything. But at the end of the day, for me, if that were my decision, everybody would be getting the knockoffs. Because that's what is, in my mind, that is what's fair.
Yep. Yeah, because that's how you create, whether you mean to or not, the
Favoritism,
quote-unquote golden
jealousy.
child.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the golden child is always the one that gets the name brand, the top shelf, top of the line products, and the others get whatever can be afforded. And that can, over the years, I can attest to it, create a little bit of animosity towards...
Bitterness, jealousy.
Yep. So it kind of is, in retrospect, being an adult now, looking back at it, my parents were kind of a bit of an asshole in that regard. So
I mean, you can look back now, obviously, and say that, and they were just trying to do what they could. I understand that too. But again, the way this mother sounds, the way she's talking about her daughter, it feels like there's something more.
Yeah. This is just the surface level. This is what they're willing to share on the internet.
Yeah.
There's definitely more to this story. And I feel a little bit entitled myself even saying that, I think my parents were a little bit... What's up?
Go ahead, continue.
I feel a little entitled, thinking, like, my parents were a little bit of an asshole for not getting me an iPod. Why should I expect an iPod? Why should I demand an iPod? Because that was the precedent set. My brother got an iPod.
Point. That is a very, I struggle with questions like that because it really is. It's a matter of, you feel selfish for wanting those things, but why does X person deserve it over me?
Yep. So ultimately, just, get your kids all the same thing. If you have multiple kids, just get them all the same thing. I don't know.
Or just make it, like we were both saying earlier, a joint gift and figure it out.
Yep, make it a joint gift. Simple as that. I don't know where I was going with that. Felt like there was more coming, but I don't think there was. Yeah. I'd say the mother is the asshole.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Certified asshole.
Boom.